channel where we spread love and positive vibes only. I always say only because this is a channel where we look at the positive side of life. And I want to start by thanking our subscribers, the returning subscribers, the new subscribers, the keyboard reactors, those that are liking our videos. We really appreciate. We do not take you for granted. Actually now we are road to 4,000 subscribers and you have made it possible. We really thank you so much. And I always tell you, we pray for you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enlarge you. May the Lord protect you and shield you together with your family. We don't take it for granted, guys, that you are here watching us. We appreciate it so much. And at first, is it yesterday? Yesterday was 1st August, and it was Jamaica Emancipation Day. This great day when the Jamaicans were set free from slavery, when they were set free to run their own affairs, when they were set free to be their own boss. And we really celebrate Jamaicans on their Emancipation Day, and we actually pray for them that God may continue giving them independence in every walk of their lives, because they deserve that and much more. Jamaicans are great people, and we really pray for you, for your blessings, for your enlargement, for God to take your country to the next level. Yeah, we really pray for that. And as you celebrate the day you are set free, may you be set free from any debts. May you be set free from every slavery deed. May you be set free together with your family in all the areas where you work, where you do things, and in your life. Because freedom is not just freedom from colonial masters, it is freedom to be able to feed yourself, freedom to be able to live a good life, freedom to be able to grow your country to the next level and become the world championship in economic terms. And therefore we pray for your growth, Jamaica, because you are great. And we have talked about your growth, and I think you have done great work from the time you attained independence from slavery until now. You have actually followed your ancestors, Nana the Maroon, Marcus Garvey, and those people, Bogla, those people that fought tirelessly that people may be free. And we celebrate you. We also are looking forward to celebrate your Independence Day, which is actually around the corner. And therefore, we are so happy about you, and continue doing the great work you are doing as a nation, the great work you are doing as individuals, the great work you are doing as families, and we pray for your blessings, guys. Today, I want to talk about one guy. This man is not just a man to be mentioned. He is an icon. He's a very successful man. He's a great artist in the dance hall. He's loved by Jamaican people, because I am going to tell you why I think the Jamaican people is none other than Vybz Kartel. Vybz Kartel is a person to reckon with. He's a great musician. He's actually one of the successful musicians in the dancehall music in Jamaica. He's a great artist. And for you to know that this guy is a great artist, he has ever shared a track with Rihanna. And let me tell you, Rihanna is not a small brat. For you to share a track with her, it means you are somebody who is up there and who is not a joke. And therefore, Vybz Kartel has actually shared a track with Rihanna. And not even that. One of his tracks was sampled to be featured in Beyonce's Run the World what? Beyonce's Run the World Girls. And this is a great achievement for Vybz Kartel. And therefore, he's a great musician. He is known both in Jamaica and internationally. And therefore, when this case came up, there was a lot of concern from the fans of Vybz Kartel and from the whole world. What am I talking about? Vybz Kartel, together with 3 others, were accused of the murder of Richard, actually it is Richard Williams. Cliff Richard Williams. Cliff Richard Williams was actually one of them in the dancehall music. And this guy was murdered and his body has never been found. Quite sad, and I'm going to revisit about William. I first want to say I'm very, very sorry to William's family, because no one would want to lose a child in such a mysterious way. And secondly, the body of this person is not seen, is not found. Because in Africa, we believe that when you see the body, when you mourn, when you bury, at least that sadness, that loss comes out of you. But when you don't see the body of your loved one and he has been killed, it's not an easy journey for the Williams family. And I know they are still heartbroken by the fact that they lost their son, by the fact that their son was murdered and he was never found. So I'm very, very sorry to the Williams family, and I hope that God will give you the peace that you really need and the satisfaction that you need to move on with life. I know it's hard, but through God's grace, you can move on with life. Let me come to Vybz Kartel. Vybz Kartel was accused, together with 3 others, of killing William. And I'm saying he was accused because it has not been proved whether Vybz Kartel was guilty or not. Actually, up to now, he was actually released, I think in 1st August, and it was a release because of lack of evidence. That is one of the reasons why he was released. So I'll come to the reasons why Vybz Kartel was released. And therefore, we cannot say for sure that Vybz Kartel is actually, together with the others in court, were the ones who murdered Williams. But I want to say, it has taken a long journey. It has not been easy for Vybz Kartel and the family and the fans, especially if he was wrongly accused. He was taken to prison in 2011. So this guy has spent 13 good years in prison. And if he was not guilty, it's not a short duration for him to persevere the harsh conditions of prison, and yet, in the long run, proved not guilty. And therefore, Vybz Kartel was actually held, or rather, imprisoned in 2011. It was said there are some messages that were seen on his phone indicating that it was written that the Williams body has been minced meat, has been made minced meat. So I don't know how true that is because I just saw it. I'm just talking about something I saw. I'm not very sure whether that is what that message said in the phone of Vybz Kartel. And therefore, together with 3 accused, they were taken to prison. And Vybz Kartel did not give up. He continued pleading innocence, not guilty, pleading innocent. All those years from 2011, Vybz Kartel has always said that he was innocent. He did not participate in William's killing. He did not participate in William's murder, and he does not know about the case. And it has been a court journey from 2011 to now. Quite a long journey for this guy. At first, he was accused and imprisoned 35 years in prison. It's not a short duration. 35 years are many years. And therefore, this guy, together with the co-accused, they were imprisoned 35 years in prison. Later, they appealed and the imprisonment was reduced to 32 years. 32 years in prison. And therefore, this case was being heard by a UK court that was actually acting as the court of appeal. Remember that when a case is heard in the court of appeal, it is the verdict is actually final. And therefore, this case was being handled by a UK court, the Privy Council. And it was used as Jamaican Final Court of Appeal. It was actually supposed to be the final verdict so that this guy can be determined whether he was guilty or not. That is in March. In March this year. You can imagine this guy has stayed in prison for 13 years, and in March this year, the case was taken to UK Privy Council, and it was used as the Jamaican Final Court of Appeal, and it was being handled by this guy called R.A.M. Jones. And R.A.M. Jones actually listened to the case, and there was a juror who was said to have tried to bribe other jurors so that they can actually announce, or rather they can pass a verdict of not guilty. And therefore, since there was bribery involved, the judge, R.A.M. Jones, decided that it should have a new retrial. The case should be taken to new retrial. Remember that this guy has spent already 13 years in prison, and now this case has been brought to the Court of Appeal, which was actually in UK Privy Council, and it was supposed to actually pass the verdict as Jamaican Final Court of Appeal. And therefore this guy, during the case, there comes a juror who is said to have been bribed so that he bribed other jurors so that they can pass a verdict of not guilty. And therefore, R.A.M. Jones decided that this case, since it involved bribery, he found that it will not be fair, or rather it will not be a justice to the people that have the convictions. They were not, actually he posed the fatal to the safety of the convictions. And therefore, he returned the case back to Jamaica so that the Jamaican court can actually decide whether a retrial or what will happen, a new retrial. In other words, the case was to go back to the original point so that these guys can go through the case process, and so that they can either be proved not guilty or guilty. And therefore, the case was returned to Jamaican courts. And it was being handled by Justice Malva MacDonald. I hope I'm pronouncing these words properly because I'm not used to the names. Justice Malva MacDonald, a bishop. And therefore, this guy, when he looked at this case, he had several factors to consider. Remember that this case is going back to the trial after 13 years of this guy, together with the co-accused, staying in prison. And therefore, Judge MacDonald decided that there'll be no retrial because of the following reasons. He posed the unavailability of witnesses, meaning that all through this case, there were no concrete evidence that Vybz Kartel was actually the murderer of Williams. So, Judge MacDonald pronounced that there'll be no retrial because there was an availability of evidence or other witnesses who are supposed to actually support the case that for sure William was murdered by Vybz Kartel together with the other three. And therefore that was one of the reasons Vybz Kartel was set free, because he's actually now a free man. Vybz Kartel, after 13 years in prison, is now free. And I'm going to highlight in this video how he suffered in the 13 years if actually he was innocent, this is not a good sign. It's not a good thing that someone who is innocent can stay in prison for 13 years and the case to drag itself all that long just to come and be told he is innocent. And therefore Judge McDonald posted that there was an availability of witnesses, and also he considered the time this case has taken from the first time it went to the courtrooms. The time is too long, like I am always saying. 13 years is not a short time. And therefore he considered this time which has passed, and there is a lot of suffering from this guy, and if for sure he was not guilty, then it is very, very long. And therefore he posted the time that has elapsed since the case was taken to court, and also the unavailability of witnesses. Remember that in such a case, where it involves serious crime like murder, serious crime like taking somebody's life, you have to have concrete evidence that this person for sure killed. Because such a case, even here in Kenya, it is life imprisonment or death. And you cannot pass the verdict of life imprisonment or death to a person you are not very, very sure whether he is guilty or not guilty. And therefore, lack of evidence is such a great deal in this case, because evidence is all what is needed to prove that somebody is guilty or not guilty. And therefore, Judge McDonald, actually when she went to the courtroom, she posted the lack of unavailability of witnesses to actually support the fact that Vybz Kartel and the three co-accused are guilty. The time elapsing from the time this case went to court until now. The third reason why this case was put away is because Vybz Kartel himself is not well. He is suffering from a heart condition, and therefore putting a sick man in prison without evidence, concrete, let me talk about concrete evidence, it's not fair to him and also to the Williams, because they wouldn't want somebody who is not guilty to be imprisoned that he has murdered the son while he is not guilty. I'm sure the Williams would want their son to be revenged with the truth and justice. And therefore it is very, very important to have concrete evidence that the people who killed Williams are actually the four that were taken to court. And that is what was lacking in this case. There was no concrete evidence of this murdering Williams. So the other reason is that Vybz Kartel himself is sick. His lawyers, Buchanan, said that this was Emancipation Day for them because it is the day that Vybz Kartel has been set free from the slavery of prisons. Because prisons are actually very, very, not very good places to be. And therefore Buchanan considered that this was their Emancipation Day for Vybz Kartel and actually the two accused. Because I think one of them was left in prison because he had other charges which he had committed in 2009. Meaning that it could have been a friend who actually killed Williams, because it is said William was rude to come to Vybz Kartel home, and while he was there, there was two guns that I think they possessed illegally that disappeared. So the two guns disappeared in the home. Remember that Williams was actually one of Vybz Kartel together with these three other accused. They were doing their work together, they were doing their music together, and therefore when these guns disappeared, two of them, they suspected that William is actually the one who had taken the two guns. And it is said he was beaten. I'm saying it was said because remember that Vybz Kartel has been proved innocent until said otherwise. And this is Court of Appeal, so there is nowhere else this case can be taken, because the Court of Appeal is actually the final verdict of a case. And therefore, it is said that William was rude to come to Vybz Kartel home, and therefore he was beaten and beaten and beaten. I don't know whether he was beaten to death or what happened according to what I had. So it's not very, very clear what happened to Williams. And therefore Williams died. And actually I don't know whether people are sure that William died, because it said his body was never found, even up to today. No one has seen the body of Williams. And that is why I started by saying I really am sorry to the parents and the relatives of William, because it's very, very painful for someone that you have to die and his body is not found. Because at least when somebody dies and you find the body and you mourn that person and you have the 7 day of mourning in Jamaica especially, and you bury the person, at least you have the conviction that this person died. But when you have not seen the body, I'm sure the family keep on thinking whether William is dead or not. And therefore it is such a bad state to be in as a relative, as a parent. It's not a good place to be in. And therefore we are sorry for the Williams. And like I had said earlier, we pray that you may have peace and that you may have satisfaction that comes from above. So Vybz Kartel was accused because of, together with the three, were accused because of this, it is said they killed William because of the disappearing of the 2 guns. Now, the people of Jamaica, when Vybz Kartel was actually captured and taken to prison, people demonstrated, because I'm sure people love Vybz Kartel because of his music, because of his artist nature, and therefore people went demonstrating, demanding for his release. And even after he was released, people filled Kingston and they were celebrating the release of Vybz Kartel. And they were happy that this guy has been set free and he has not been convicted of murder, or has not faced life imprisonment, or has not gone through the 32 years jail term like we had seen earlier. And therefore, they really celebrated, and he also celebrated his release after this release. So it was a great celebration for the release of Vybz Kartel, which was a good thing for the Jamaican people, especially the fans of Vybz Kartel and the relatives and family of Vybz. So that is what has been happening in Kingston, Jamaica, celebration of the release of Vybz Kartel. And the 2 others, remember I've told you, one of them was left in prison because he's actually facing another case, which was in 2009. Actually, I was seeing that there was another murder, and Vybz Kartel was actually implicated in that murder, and I think that is why this guy was left in prison, because of that murder of 2009. And therefore, if Vybz Kartel is not guilty, we also celebrate his release with him, and we are happy that he has faced his justice. To the Williams family, we pray for peace. Like I have always said, we pray for peace and God's intervention, that you are going to go through this hard time in the strong arms of God holding you, because you really need that. That is enough with Vybz Kartel and the case of murder of Williams. And now we go to the Olympics. Guys, Olympics is fire. And by the way, by this time I'm talking here, the 100 meters could be other way. By the time I put the video, we will have known who is the winner of 100 meters race. But guys, let me tell you, there are giants in this race. I saw the 4 women in the front line in this race, and I was saying, this is going to be fire. This is going to be hot. This is going to be a game changer. There are 4 very, very strong women who are competing for the 100 meters race. In Jamaica, we have R.A.M, Fraser, and we have Tia, Cray, and we have who? We have who? Hey guys, remind me. We have Tia, we have Sherry, we have Alfred. I think we have those three in Jamaica. If I have read someone, you can remind me. Remember that Sharika opted out of 100 meters race, and she thought, or rather the management thought, it is good for her to concentrate in 200 meters so that she can do excellent. And therefore, Sharika is actually learning 200 meters. She's out of the 100 meters race, and now we have Tia Cray, and we have Sherian Fresher, and we have Alfred. Alfred is a Jamaican born, schooled in Jamaica, trained in Jamaica, started her high school competing in Jamaica, and she's a great person to reckon with. And I'm going to tell you these 4 women, because we have those 3 from Jamaica and we have Shakari from United States of America. And these 4 women are great. And I'm going to tell you why they are great. Any of them can win the gold medal. Do not undermine small beginning. Because I saw people talking about Tia. Tia, when I was looking at her home training and home races, she was hitting 10.7 seconds. And when I was looking at Shakari, I saw her best race. She actually ran with 10.65 seconds. There is not much difference between Tia and Shakari. And therefore, I think these 4 women are people to look out to. And let me, guys, go through the 3 women. Actually, there are 4. There are 4 women. So I've told you there is Sherry Fresher. Sherry Fresher, I think it is her final race in this year's Olympics. And I don't want to imagine Fresher would want to lose the gold medal this year, knowing that it could be actually her final gold medal. And therefore, Sherry has won several gold medals. Actually, I saw there is a time she won triple gold medals in 3 consecutive competitions. And therefore, she is not a small thing in the Olympics. And therefore, Sherry Fresher might be the person to take the gold home. I'm not saying I'm sure of that, because I'm saying there are 4 women to look out to. There is Sherian, there is Tia Cray, there is Alfred, and there is Shakari from United States of America. And therefore, these 3 women are very, very strong women. I've started with Sherry, and I've told you she has won several gold medals in the Olympics, and she is a force to reckon. She has been there, and she has never learned amiss. She has always gone home either with gold, silver, or bronze. And therefore, Sherry is not a small racer, and therefore, there is high competition in 100 meters race. Then we have Alfred. Alfred also, she's not a small thing. I've talked about her. She was born in Jamaica. She went to high school in Jamaica. She has been training in Jamaica, and she has been trained by one of the most great trainer coach in Jamaica. And therefore, I don't see Alfred as a small thing. Somebody said Alfred is coming and coming hard. She is coming and coming hard. And therefore, she will not be a small challenge to Sherry, to Shakari, and to Tia. And I've told you, Sherry also will not be a small challenge to Tia, to Shakari, and to Alfred. And I've also told you, Tia will not be a small challenge to Sherry, to Shakari, and to Alfred, because Tia also has done a lot of training, and here in her home Jamaica competitions, she has hit the 10.7 seconds mark in 100 meters. And therefore, she's not small when it comes to 100 meters. She can actually put a challenge to these other 3 women. Let us come to who? To Shakari. Shakari is actually a runner, United States based. and she has hit 10.65 in the races she has ran. And 10.65, it is quite a challenge to the other 3 women, and therefore there will be a very, very hot competition in 100 meters, and also I think in 4 by 100. I think these women are also the same ones that are running 4 by 100 relay. And therefore, we have 4 great women competing for the 100 meters race in the 2024 Olympics. They are forces to reckon with. They are great women. They are trained hard. They have been training very, very hard. They have the potential to get the gold medal. They have the potential to actually bring home to their countries the gold medal. And therefore, none of them is a small runner. All of them are great runners, and we are wishing them the best in 100 meters. By the end of today, I think we'll have known who has won the 100 meters race, whether it is Sherian, whether it is Tiakre, whether it is Chakari, whether it is Alfred. We will have known by the end of today, and I'm sure they are going to make history, each of them in their own way. Remember that Tia, it is her first time to come to the Olympics, but she has been learning together with her twin sister, Tina, and she has recorded a very high speed. Actually, she has proved to be among the 5 fastest women in Jamaica. So she's not a small force to reckon. And people, when I see them commenting in the comment section, these field events or track events, they are very, very mysterious. You can never know who is going to win that gold. We can see Tia winning the gold medal. We can have Sherry winning the gold medal. We can have Shakari winning the gold medal. And we can also have Alfred winning the gold medal, because each of them has been trained hard. Remember that Tia has a history of SAFP and MVP. MVP, when they train someone, it's very hard for them to lose. And therefore, these 3 women are in for a great competition. A great competition. And we hope that the best wins. The best gets the gold medal. The best celebrates their hard work. So we have a force to reckon with at the end of 100 meters race, and we are waiting eagerly to bring to you here in R.A.M TV the people that are going to win the 100 meters race. We wish Jamaica, our country, all the best, because we cannot forget we are cheering Jamaican athletes and wish them the best in this competition, and we hope they are going to bring home the golden medal. So it's up to you, Tia, it's up to you, Sherry, it's up to you, Alfred. All of us, we are eyeing you, and we are supporting you, and we have faith in you, we have trust in you. You are going to bring to us the gold in Jamaica. See you during the next video. Bye bye.